welcome back to the Whatnauts Reactor Core number 47. This week we are discussing Marvel's What If. Number 6, I believe, is this one here. Yeah, number 6. I'm excited to get into it. My name is Kyle Springer, and I am joined by Melissa Wilkinson. Melissa, how's it going?
It's okay. I'm in the middle of work stints, so I'm a little tired.
I understand. I understand that one. Let's see. So we are almost halfway done with Marvel's. Well, I guess we are more than halfway done now with Marvel's.
Yeah.
What If. I've been having a blast with this show. I think this show continues to impress. And I think this one was one that held that up. They have yet to miss with this show. So what did you think now that we have seen Killmonger saving Tony Stark?
That's what this episode was. What if Killmonger saved Tony Stark and then became his new Obadiah Stane, I guess, and then used that to kill several main characters and then take over Wakanda. I think this episode has a lot of interesting ideas in it. Some people who it's good to see again. I saw Paul Bettany's name in the credits, and I'm like, how did Vision get in this? Because I forgot about Jarvis at this point. I'm like, right. He was just a voice for a while before he was a robot man.
Absolutely.
I am getting slightly burnt out on so many character deaths. Like the last 4 episodes have had really high death counts. And I hope episode 7 kind of gives us a little bit something different. I could use a break from that.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I think they've hit those points where it's like, wouldn't it be cool to see this character die? And that works for like 1 or 2 things, right? But then you kind of want something else, or at least mix it up some, right?
Yeah, and like the other ones were playing with genre a lot. Like we had that great murder mystery episode. Zombies is really special.
Absolutely,
the sort of Twilight Zone-y cautionary tale Doctor Strange episode. Wherever this third one is that I'm not thinking about right now. There was like another like kind of sci-fi horror-y one. And like those are cool. I like that we're getting it feels like a Simpsons treehouse of horror where we're really bending the genre a lot, and that takes us to places where maybe we are somewhere where like there's more deaths and they get to be gruesome, but to have this just be like an action horror story that isn't super different from a lot of what the MCU is already. And it's like, oh, cool, Rhodey's in this. I'm happy to see Rhodey. Rhodey's dead.
Yep. Poor Rhodey.
I think it's a solid episode, but this one was less fun than episodes have been in the past.
Yeah, which is why I think last week I was saying, like, now I want something incredibly funny and wacky. Like, just
I'm ready for that.
Everyone is chipmunks. I don't know. I just make something silly like that. Like I just want them to get weird. Like Ant-Man in a jar, head in a jar that we had last week with
like the zombies episode. It's gruesome. It's dark, but it does have, I think, an appropriate sense of humor to it that knows. When it's supposed to sort of bring you back up with some fun jokes and Scott's head in a jar flying around with a cape and like throwing really weird characters together to go on an adventure.
We need an all-out funny one. Just go hard on the funny.
Like, I was almost expecting like we were going to zoom up and see Uatu the Watcher and he'd just look at us and say, "Bummer, huh?" I'm like, "Yeah, Uatu, it is." Like, well, what? I imagine he feels the way I feel. And I hope he also gets to a point where he's like, yeah, I need a break. I'm going to go watch the all musical universe.
I'm going to go watch Rogers, the musical that they got in Hawkeye.
The universe that's all that. Yeah, I want him to go to like a really silly universe because I think both him and I need it.
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree with that. But yeah, I still liked this. I thought it was nice to see more of Killmonger. I think he's kind of a fan favorite.
Yes.
And yeah, we get to see more of him interacting with Tony Stark and with Pepper Potts and all sorts of characters that we didn't get to see him interact with, and that is just a treat by itself. More Killmonger, please, because he's a character that you both love and hate, right? Because he was justified in the Black Panther movie, but he's going about this in the wrong way. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Don't do that. So yeah, it was a lot of fun.
He's a real meaty character. I liked getting to learn that he's real in anime, much like the actual Michael B. Jordan. Were you very excited to hear them say the word Gundam?
I was like, yeah, I know that. I know that reference.
Right? Like, that was nice. It was fun to go back to Iron Man, the original Iron Man from like 2008. Because it feels quaint now. It feels homey, you know?
It's that, to me, I think was one of the more interesting choices of like, hey, let's put more Killmonger in here, but let's have him. It seemed like the what if was more of, what if Killmonger was inserted in one of these other movies? Yeah. What would have happened?
Let's just pick a guy up from one movie, place him in a different movie, like several years before the first time we were even introduced to that character. Where is he at that point in his life? What are his goals? And then how does he use these new circumstances to get to what his goals are?
Absolutely. I think that is brilliant. And it's one of those things of like, which of all the movies we have, sure, it'd be fun to see him in Ant-Man. That'd be interesting. Yeah, be kind of a clashing of worlds. But I think, going back to the original is just like that. I think would change things the most, and see where we go from there. So I like what they did with this.
Yeah, I think the central what if question of the episode is an interesting one.
We put a lot of hard work into the shows that we make, and yes, we make multiple different shows here at the Whatnauts, and we'd love it if you would check them all out. You can find out more information on our website at thewhatnauts.com, as well as your favorite podcasting platform of choice. When you type in the Whatnauts, all of our shows will pop up right there. Just don't forget to give us a nice rating and review if you like the shows. If you want to support what we do here at The Whatnauts, patreon.com/The Whatnauts is the best place to do that. You can support us for as little as $1 a month. You can get all kinds of exclusive content at the $3 tier. You can also get a shout out and thank you on all of our shows at the $5 tier. You can support us on Twitch by subscribing to our channel at twitch.tv/The Whatnauts, and we would love to have you all join us for our live streams and talk with us in the chat. And lastly, we have merch. If you want to grab yourself a shirt or a sweatshirt or a mug or something else, go to thewhatnauts.com/store to pick up some merch today. Absolutely. How did you feel about this version of Tony Stark?
It's Tony Stark. He doesn't feel super different, but I like that he's like, I love this guy. I'm gonna make him my anything now. And they kick Obadiah Stane out immediately. Like, they figure out his game very quickly. Nice to see him again, I guess. But he's like, okay, Eric Killmonger, we're on first name basis. I'll call you Eric. You're my new Obadiah Stane. And somebody's like, it's not qualified for that position, Tony. And I like that Pepper is like, everybody wants something from Tony. I get that. That's kind of what I'm here to judge, if they have goodwill or ill will toward them. Here's a guy who's so close to Tony, and I can't tell what he wants. It seems like he doesn't want anything. What's the deal with that?
Yeah, it's interesting because he it's like it seems like he wants to be there and be involved. He knows that he can use Tony to build something or get some kind of weapon or something to help him go back to Wakanda and get his rightful place there, but he doesn't know exactly what that is. It seems like it seems like his plan is just to like insert himself there, and he's done that, and so he's just kind of sitting there for a while of like, sure, I'll be your new chief security officer or whatever. And then he gets Stain's job, and he's like, he recognizes, he's like, I don't know, like I'm more of a soldier. I don't know if I should be doing what you want me to do here. Like this, I don't know. So I thought that was an interesting scene where he's not like, he is, I feel like his plan is, I'll know it when I see it. And it's like, that's not it. That's not what I want. That's not going to help me get to Wakanda and do all of that stuff. And then he's like, I have the vibranium ring. And he's like, bingo, let's use that. And let's build a bunch of Gundams. Bunch of giant robots.
Gundams.
Yeah.
We get to see Ulysses Claw again with all his limbs intact.
All his claws.
For all the characters that we lost in this episode, it was also nice. Like, oh, King T'Chaka's still alive at the end. I don't know, because he's a character who died so soon after we met him, and I'm like, this guy looks nice. I wish we would have gotten to spend more time with him. And I liked it in this animated episode we did. Right. I mean, I don't like that T'Challa died so quickly, but it's like, well, his dad's still here. I can take comfort in that, I guess. This is a world where, you've lost the son and brother, but this dad and husband is still there, which I felt bad for you missing out on. I don't know. I'm trying to take some comfort where I can get it.
Yeah. So let's move a little bit on to Wakanda, because I think there's a lot to talk about here within this. Like we mentioned, it is still kind of Killmonger trying to do what he did in Black Panther and stuff like that. So he ends up taking Ulysses Claw to the border, kills him, and then just walks in. He's like, hey, I found the guy you've been looking for, who's been terrorizing you and stealing all your vibranium. Here you go. And then he announces his lineage and stuff like that. And there's some scenes that kind of end up mirroring what happens there, but there's no big fight. There is no, so this is your king. There's none of that. But we end up seeing him still kind of take over in his own way. And on top of that, we got to see the Queen fight. How cool is that?
That's the best part of the episode. I loved that. Because she's such a regal, stately queen, and she seems like she's a nice mom, but like we really have no sense of what her past has been, particularly because we never saw her while she was still like the reigning monarch. Like as soon as T'Chaka died, it goes to T'Challa. Right. So she's like this queen mother. She's not like the queen on the throne. She's not the ruler's spouse. So her role's quite different. I was happy to see like what most of her life apparently was before we're introduced to her like in the MCU proper. Yeah, of course she would be a general. And of course, like, her warrior outfit also involves her like big queen hat.
Yes. Good stuff.
The hat's a constant.
Proto 21 in the chat says, we stand the queen combat.
Yes.
Absolutely. And they also say, I low-key thought Tony would design his suit once he found what Killmonger did. So I mean, they do make that reference to Gundam as they start making all of those suits, and you guys know me, I'm a big Gundam fan. But yeah, they end up making more of the drones that we see in number two in Iron Man 2. And so yeah, I was like, same here. I was kind of expecting there to be like, hey, we have all these drones, but here's like one special suit just for you, Killmonger. And he actually would be inside or stuff like that, and that didn't happen, which I think is a missed opportunity. I think that would have been fun to see. Killmonger in that like all black space when like he's inside the suit there and doing that stuff. That would have been fun. That would have been fun to see.
They gotta design the suit with room for his hair.
Yeah.
This is great hair.
He does. He has amazing hair. I'm jealous.
One thing I did like about the Killmonger and Tony interactions was when Tony kind of figures out what he's doing and he makes him like fight one of his Gundams. I love that they're just fighting in Tony's living room, and Tony like locks the place down, like, you know, the metal sheets come down over the windows, and he's like, this robot's going to kill you right here in my living room, no escape. Turning the lights out, it's red lights.
Are you ready to rumble?
But he doesn't even think about like, oh, let's take this outside. No, his own personal living room where he sits and watches movies or whatever.
It's an interesting thing to see him do, especially since he took the route of like, hey, I'm still going to continue to make weapons. Whereas him locking them in is kind of a way to protect people, which I guess he still thinks of his weapons as a way to protect people. But it seems more of a defensive move than his offensive weapons. Which is an interesting thing to see there. So good stuff indeed. Proto 21 also says Tony wouldn't be that stupid to believe everything Killmonger says. Yeah, he's right there. He seems a little bit more naive, right? At first, I'm just like, oh yeah, come on in. You get this job, you get that job, you can do everything. But yeah, I still think he has that like guardedness of like, hey, I'm me. No one really gets the full me but me.
Yeah.
And he's still gonna have some things guarded. But yeah, there you go. Back to Wakanda, though. I did like seeing the fight. I did like that it was a fight that we kind of really haven't seen before in the MCU. Like we've seen fights in Wakanda, but it's been against people and it's been against aliens, but not against like Stark tech and stuff like that.
That's true.
Yeah, so I enjoyed that. I liked seeing both of these like advanced technologies fights. All of the shields and stuff that the Wakandans had are still so fucking cool. Yeah, I loved it. I thought this was a blast. I am glad that we got to go back to Wakanda for this one here.
Yeah. See those rhinos again. Killmonger gets to ride one of those rhinos.
Absolutely. Good on them. So I've seen some people talking online that this might be one of the ones, or maybe more that they are hoping that this is one of the ones that we see a recurring character, that maybe Killmonger will come back somehow, some way.
Yeah.
Now that he is the new Black Panther, will he end up meeting Captain Carter? Will he end up meeting that weird Doctor Strange who got locked in that one universe there? We don't know. Melissa, if you had to then put this Killmonger into a meet up with another character that we've met so far in What If, who would you want him to meet?
Well, he can meet Star-Lord T'Challa and he would just neutralize the entire thing. Like Star-Lord T'Challa is like such a concentrated power of charisma that I feel like he could just talk him down. He'd solve the whole thing. There's no conflict. They just go to Contraxia and have a couple beers, and it's a good time for cousins.
Yeah, and he'll be sitting there like, hey, listen to Thanos' story. And he'll be like, it was efficient. They'll all just be like,
The character's journey who I'm most interested in this episode is actually Pepper. Because we're seeing a Pepper who didn't get to that romance with Tony. And now that Stark has kind of been taken over by the government, you know, like her professional pathways changed very much now also, in addition to her personal romantic life. Like, that's all the things we know about Pepper. What does Pepper do now? And I love the ending where she teams up with like little 10-year-old Shuri. I love that Shuri just like goes and finds her. Is like waiting in her office.
She's like, hey, I'm the new smart one here. I'm smarter than everyone else here. So
I think Pepper's a really interesting ingredient to add to a lot of situations because she's so smart and so capable in a way that most of the other characters aren't, because she's just business and like knowing how to administratively run something. Right, like she deals with, you know, the company is science, it's mechanics, but she doesn't know that personally. And I'm sure there's people who are like amazing technological geniuses here in the universe that don't know how to like write a memo or something. Yeah. I feel like if you like give the power up of Pepper, if you pepper any of these other characters up, like you get something special.
There you go. Good stuff. Good stuff. I think for me, if I had to see this version of Killmonger interact with one of the other characters that we've met, I would like to see Killmonger interact more with the like magic characters. And that, like, how does he? Because he is a fighter. He's very physical, which is why I think maybe they didn't put him inside one of the suits. Like he likes to be the main star of the show, right?
Right. You can't see all of his kill scars on his chest.
Exactly. And so I think I would like to see him deal with magic. Like, is there a Scarlet Witch or an Ancient One that he can interact with? I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah,
so we'll see down the road. But I think we got 3 more left. 3 more of What If. So almost at the end there, but this has been a good show. I'm enjoying it a lot.
Yeah, we truly have something different to talk about every week. We're introduced to a lot of these fun concepts, like Warrior General Queen Ramonda. That's cool.
Absolutely.
Very glad we get this. And like, Angela Bassett is very capable, but I'm not sure if she is still physically able to be some sort of a warrior queen doing a lot of fight scenes. It's not that we have this opportunity to like do things that are just too tricky to do in live action. Yeah, we've got a great avenue for getting all these fun ideas out. I hope we do get some fun in the next 3 episodes. Hope we get a break more fun from all the gratuitous main character death, and I hope Party Thor, truly brings the party to us.
Yeah, I know they put out like a mid-season trailer that I think had maybe a little bit more footage from the second half of season 2. I've not checked that out yet. I've just, it's been like, hey, I'm already sold on this show. You don't need to be like,
like I will watch like the trailer or 2 leading up to one of these MCU shows, but I don't need to watch like all the teasers they put out every week in between episodes.
Yeah.
But I hear about what's in them.
I'm excited though, because I am really, really hoping that we get to see more of the Watcher. This one, I think we've seen the most of him in this one, and that's kind of been the trend.
Clearer.
He's becoming more like, we see more of him. We've now seen him like all lit up, and we actually see what he looks like. He's not like back there in shadow or stuff like that. So I'm really hoping that, we do get to see him intervene somehow, some way, because that would be a lot of fun too. And who knows how that would set up season 2? Like, is that? Because they can do all sorts of stuff where it's an anthology like what we got, where it's just a little bit of who knows what, right? But what if there is kind of a theme to like all the stuff in season 2, or a direction that it's going? How does that affect the What If show? That might be interesting to think about. But I'm excited no matter what we get. So it's going to be good. It's going to be a blast. Melissa, final thoughts on number 6 here of Marvel's What If?
I think I'm done. I think I said them all. I think I ran out.
Fair enough. Yeah,
I like the music. I'll say that. It was fun to hear a lot of the musical themes from the Black Panther movie come back in this.
There you go. Good stuff. Yeah, I had a blast with this. This was one of the more fun ones, in my opinion. But I still want them to just go wacky. That's what I want next.
Yeah, wacky. Bring back Howard the Duck.
Absolutely. With that said, though, Melissa, where can the people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Wilkywit. That's WILKYWIT. And listen to my other podcast, Saturday Morning Obscurities.
There you go. You guys can find me at Yo Kyle Springer on Twitter. If you guys want to stay up to date with all of the stuff that we do here at the Whatnauts, we are at the Whatnauts on Twitter. So please go like, share, subscribe. Just FYI, for those of you guys who listen on podcasts, we are having an issue with Spotify right now. They have taken all of our podcasts off of Spotify. I've been in communication with them as to why that is and what happens. It still hasn't resolved yet exactly, but we are working on that. It's still up on all sorts of platforms. If you have Apple or who knows what, Stitcher, all sorts of stuff, it's up there still, just not on Spotify for some weird reason. But we are working on getting that back up. So hopefully soon those will be back up. But with that, I think this wraps up our reactions for this week. We will be back next week with number 7. I'm excited for that one. But until then, bye.
Bye.